Tuck in your grandma. I'm Frank Cline, and it's story time. The distinct honor of dumbest people I've ever met goes to everyone that was involved in my 6th grade elementary school. Now, I moved to a new town in 6th grade, the summer of 5th grade. And I feel like I should mention that in 1st grade, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. But I had overcome it by the time I was in 5th grade. So when I moved to 6th grade, I was expecting to be in mainstream classes. Mainstream classes just means classes for regular kids. Well, the new town decided, no, you're dyslexic once, you'll be dyslexic forever. And therefore, you must go into a special class. Now, they didn't exactly have a class for kids who needed extra help. But they did have a class for kids with behavior problems. Now, in 6th grade, I had not hit a growth spurt. I did not hit puberty. I didn't hit anything. I was the meekest little child, and I was very timid. So putting me in a class with a bunch of angry, hormonal 6th graders, perfect idea. Now, the teachers knew these kids had anger problems, but for whatever reason, they just assumed that I did as well. Like I was going to go into the school and be a little asshole. So they treated me accordingly. And they didn't even treat the ones they knew that bad. Because these kids that were in the bad classes, they had known for a while and they knew what to expect. Oh, that's just our little neighborhood asshole. But I was the new asshole. Nobody likes a new asshole. If you woke up tomorrow morning with a new asshole, you'd go, what is this? More shit. So that's what they expected from me. Anyway, I digress. And I could say a lot about this school in particular and the children in it. And you know what? I don't even hold any... There's nothing against those kids that bullied me. We're kids. It's how the adults reacted to that. And one adult in particular was the music teacher, who that very same year ended up becoming Teacher of the Year because nobody paid attention to how he treated me like a dick. So, I was a bit of a smartass. Always was. But when I was in my old neighborhood, the teachers found that endearing about me. Oh no, not here. No wit here was allowed. The teacher in particular sang a song called John Barleycorn Must Die by the band Traffic. And one of the lyrics to it is something along the lines of, we poked his heart with pitchforks, we chopped him at the knee, we killed this guy and we don't care at all. I don't know. You can look up the lyrics yourself to John Barleycorn. But it was basically made to sound like a guy killing another guy, or a bunch of guys killing another guy. And all us 6th graders are looking on horrified as this music teacher is singing that. And then he laughs and goes, haha, relax. It's just a song about making beer. And I piped up and said, oh, making beer to 6th graders is a lot better than murder. Detention. So he always had something out for me. And I'll admit I wasn't a smart kid. For the next story, he was probably right in this, but we had like a field day, and we were outside playing kickball. So I miraculously had made it to first base. I usually never got that far. And a kid kicked the kickball, and it went straight to the person at second base. So I knew if I ran to second base, I was going to be out. So, and I'm not saying I'm intelligent for this decision, I decided I won't run. Because if I don't run, and I, for some reason, thought I could just stay on first base, like, I thought I had the option. Listen, I was a dork. I get it. And other kids made fun of me, right? And they had a right to in this scenario. But who didn't have the right was the fat fuck music teacher. Because obviously I got out because I didn't run. So they just, like, I think tagged first and got 2 people out or something. I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I still suck at sports. The music teacher flipped out because apparently this was the highlight of his life. He had nothing else to look forward to but winning a 6th grade game of kickball. So he was like, how fucking stupid can you be? He probably didn't say how fucking stupid can you be. But he basically said, how fucking stupid can you be? And like I said, students make fun of you for that. Fine. Teacher? No. Come on. You just kind of have to swallow your pride and be like, oh, that kid's fucking stupid. But you keep that shit to yourself. God damn it. But he didn't. It pissed me off. Whatever. Then the school decided that, they kind of realized by now that I was getting picked on a lot, and they thought, well, alright, I guess we should do something nice for this kid. So their idea for nice was to make me a safety, which is like I get a little orange belt, and I get to make sure kids get to their bus, I guess. The only problem with that was I also had to get on the bus, and they made me a safety for the other end of the school where my bus wasn't. So my option was either go be a safety and miss my bus or get on my bus. And you're damn right I chose get on my bus every single time. I never went to my location for safety. So guess who was in charge of the safety program? Good old Mr. Music. And he realizes I never go to my post. So he comes up to me and goes, why don't you go to your post? And I say, because it's on the opposite end of the school. And if I go to my post, I won't make the bus. And he goes, well, becoming an adult is about making decisions. I'm not an adult. I can't drive. Hence me taking the goddamn bus. Are you going to drive me home? Because I don't want to be squished in with your little Pinto. I don't know what he drove, but I feel like that'd be it. Probably just like a tiny car that he could afford on his shitty music teacher salary. No offense to music teachers out there. I just hate that guy still to this day. So he decides I can't be a safety anymore, and he tells me, bring your belt with you to lunch tomorrow. So I do. Middle of lunch, he calls me up after everybody's eaten. And I come up to the front of this cafeteria, and he goes, Frank, you need to hand over your belt. So I handed over the belt, and he goes, to the rest of you kids, this is what happens when you're tardy. And I was young and didn't know what the word tardy meant, so I thought he called me retarded. And, I ended up crying. So, thanks. And he didn't, say, hey, I'm sorry I was hard on you. He just let me sit there, cry, while other kids were like, haha, Frank's crying. Nice dude. So, that brings us really to the reason why I did this podcast, and it's the epitome of stupid people stories. Maybe not, but it's really dumb. So we're having a 6th grade graduation, because you know how big of a deal 6th grade is, whatever. And, we're planning all of it. And the music teacher gets, the 4 kids in the school who can sing and says, all right, you can pick the song that you're going to sing for your 6th grade graduation. You're going to stand up on stage, you're going to sing this song, all your parents and everybody's going to say it's going to be beautiful. You get to pick the song. The song that they pick, and I just want you to think of all the possibilities of songs you could sing for a 6th grade graduation, and then remember that you're in 6th grade and you're not going to pick a song that makes sense. So I don't blame the kids for picking this. I blame the adults for going, yeah, that's fine. The song they picked is Casey and JoJo, All My Life. If you're not familiar, I'm going to now read you the lyrics in its entirety for Casey and JoJo, All My Life. Ready? I will never find another lover sweeter than you, sweeter than you. And I will never find another lover more precious than you, more precious than you. Girl, you are close to me, you're like my mother. Close to me, you're like my father. Close to me, you're like my sister. Close to me, you're like my brother. Brother. You are the one, you are my everything. And for you, the song I sing, and all my life, I pray for someone like you. And I thank God that I finally found you. And all my life, I prayed for someone like you. And I hope you feel the same way too. Alright, you know what? You get it. I kind of want to read the second part. And all my life, baby, I've prayed for someone like you. And I thank God. Alright, you know what? We don't need any more. We never needed it in the first place. Maybe you needed it for Casey and JoJo when you were going through some kind of relationship, when you were old enough for a relationship. But in 6th goddamn grade, you don't know what any of those words mean. You have no idea what anything they're saying means. And every other kid, and I'm sorry for all those I graduated with in 6th grade that were okay with this song, But because I was the only one that was like, hand raised, excuse me, what? This is going to be terrible. All of the adults are going to think this is the weirdest thing they've ever heard in their life. We're in 6th grade and we're singing this for a graduation? This makes no sense. And the teacher was like, you need to knock it off and shut up. You don't care. You never cared about the school. You never want to be part of the school. You came in here. Like, he went on this tirade about how, like, because I was the new kid, I never cared about being part of their school. I didn't want to be included in their school. I never did. And like all the other kids pretty much were like, yeah, shut up, Frank. You don't want to be a part of us. I was like, no, I absolutely don't. But you know what? I realized I was going to be outvoted. So I just sat there and I was like, fine. Go sing Casey and JoJo all my life and have every adult during graduation think that this school and all the adults are the dumbest people ever. Fine. So graduation day came, my parents came, everybody else's parents came, and I sat there gleefully. I was like, I can't wait for the shit show. Like, in my mind, I was imagining booing. I was imagining them just like beating the shit out of the music teacher, like, why would you let our kids sing this? This is filth, you know? So I sat there patiently, gleefully waiting. And the 4 kids that were able to sing got up on stage. And the music hits. And all my life, waited for someone like you. And I thank God, baby, that I finally found you. Girl, you are close to me, you're like my mother. Right? So I'm like, oh my God, this is a shit show. So I'm ready to look around. So I look around on my seat at all the adults. Can't wait to see their horrified faces. Every single adult is just smiling and noddingly approving. Just a few of them are clapping, bobbing their heads, and I'm like, no, this is ass. What the fuck? I was like, oh shit, it's the whole town. The whole town of adults is fucking Nutter Butters. And I was so upset because I really thought this was going to be like my vindication. That like I wasn't the crazy one. That all the other adults would be like, oh no, this school's fucking stupid. So I'm just looking around, just trying to find one face of somebody who's like, this is fucking weird. And I find my parents. And my mom and dad have this look on their face of, what the fuck is this shit? And I was so happy. I was like, that's my people. That's where I came from. That's it. Thank God. I am your kin. I am your son. I wanted to run. I've never been prouder of my parents than in that moment. Oh, they got it. They were like, yeah, this is fucking weird. And I've told this story and they're like, we don't even remember that shit. And I'm like, you should, because it's the moment that I realized I'm never going to put you in a home. Like, Frankie going to take care of you. Because you also realized that the fucking adults in this school were batshit. I have more stories about them. But that's going to do it for now. This has been Frankline's story time. It's all been true. And I hope you come back. I'll do more. Thank you. Good night.